Something quietly beautiful is happening inside one of Hollywood's most beloved families right now, and the internet absolutely cannot stop talking about it. Kelly Ripa's only daughter just shared a life update so pure, so joyful, that she said she could literally cry from happiness. And once you hear the full story, you might feel the same way. Welcome back. If you're here, you already know that when it comes to Hollywood families who feel genuinely real, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos sit at the very top of that list. For nearly 3 decades, this couple has been one of the most enduring love stories in the entertainment world. Meeting on the set of All My Children back in 1995, eloping to Las Vegas just a year later, and somehow, in a town where relationships can dissolve overnight, building something that has lasted through it all. But today's story isn't about Kelly. It isn't even about Mark. Today, the spotlight belongs to their daughter, Lola Consuelos. And trust me, you're going to want to hear every single detail of what she just shared with the world. For those who've watched Live with Kelly and Mark over the years, you know Lola has always been something of a quietly magnetic presence in this family story. She's the middle child, sandwiched between older brother Michael, who has carved out a career as a TV producer, and younger brother Joaquin, who just made his Broadway debut in Death of a Salesman at the '79 Tony Awards. The Consuelos kids, it seems, don't do anything halfway. But Lola has always had something different about her. A fire, a creative restlessness. Growing up the only daughter of two of television's biggest personalities, she could have easily coasted on the family name. Instead, she enrolled at NYU's prestigious Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music, one of the most competitive music programs in the country, and threw herself completely into building a career of her own. Kelly has always been candid about the fact that neither she nor Mark has a single musical bone in their body. She laughed about it on Live, saying Lola's talent seemed to appear from absolutely nowhere. And yet there it was, undeniable, real. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. Because after graduating from NYU, Lola didn't move back home to New York City. She didn't settle into the comfortable orbit of her famous parents and the life that could have been very easily handed to her. She moved to London. That's right, across the Atlantic Ocean, 3,400 miles away from her mom's warm Instagram comments and her dad's bare hugs. Lola Consuelos packed up her life, followed her heart, and planted herself in one of the world's great music cities to build something entirely her own. And fans immediately started reacting, some inspired, some emotional, and some already wondering, how on earth does Kelly handle this? Part of what drew Lola to London was love. She had been quietly dating Cassius Kidston, a young Englishman who works as a sports talent sales assistant at the Creative Arts Agency, one of the most powerful agencies in all of entertainment. The two had been together since around 2022, and by the time Lola confirmed the relationship publicly in 2023, it was already serious enough that they decided to build a life together in the UK. Cassius, for his part, comes from an interesting background of his own. His father, Simon Kidston, is the founder of Kidston Motor Cars, a storied name in the classic automotive world. But despite those credentials, Cassius keeps a notably low profile online, a private Instagram, no public tags, and a quiet confidence that has apparently won over the toughest audience imaginable, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. And here's where it gets genuinely sweet. Kelly and Mark openly discuss meeting Cassius's parents, Simon and Rosie Kidston, on a live episode, and the way they gushed over them was almost comically adorable. Mark called them people he liked so much, and Kelly described Simon as a blonde James Bond, chic, suave, very British. She added that Rosie was divine and so funny. Then Kelly delivered the best line of all. They are basically the opposite of us. The audience erupted. The point? These two families have met. They've had dinner, and something genuine and warm is clearly growing between all of them. Now, let's talk about the moment that sent fans absolutely over the edge. The Instagram post that sparked all of this. Lola recently celebrated her birthday, and Cassius pulled out all the stops. Sushi, sake, a painting date, a stunning bouquet of flowers. Photos from their evening together flooded her Instagram. And when Lola wrote her caption, she didn't reach for anything poetic or polished. She wrote exactly what she felt: sushi, sake, painting, and my favorite person ever was the best birthday I could cry. That's it. No performance. No curated brand moment. Just a young woman, genuinely overwhelmed by how good her life feels right now, needing the world to know. Her followers flooded the comments. So beautiful. Rock stars. You are glowing. And of course, Kelly Ripa herself was not about to let her daughter's joy go unacknowledged. Because when it comes to her kids, Kelly has never, not once, held back. Kelly chimed in to note publicly that her children have such good taste when it comes to the people they choose to love. Mark, ever the charmer, added simply, they have good pickers. But this moment of birthday bliss wasn't the only emotional chapter in Lola's recent story. Go back a few months, and you'll find one of the most talked about moments in this family's recent history. In December, Lola held an intimate showcase to celebrate the release of her debut EP. Sorry, It's All About Me, at a music and cocktail venue on historic Denmark Street in London's Soho neighborhood. Friends, fans, and industry people gathered. It was the culmination of years of work, years of dreaming, years of building something real from scratch. And Kelly and Mark were determined to be there. In disguise. Secretly. They flew to London without telling Lola. They wore flat caps. They stood backstage. And they waited, hearts pounding, until it was all over, until she had performed every song she had poured her soul into before stepping into her line of sight. What happened next became one of the most shared celebrity moments of that entire month. Lola was still on stage, floating on the adrenaline of a performance she had spent years preparing for, when she suddenly spotted two very familiar faces in the crowd. The words she managed to get out, even through the shock, were basically perfect. Shut up. I'm gonna start crying. My parents just flew in to surprise me. She turned to the crowd and asked, with total disbelief, how they even got there. Kelly's answer? An airplane. The crowd lost it. Lola lost it. And honestly, anyone watching the video lost it too. Later, speaking to the press that night, Kelly said, we are beside ourselves. She's been working so hard and her hard work paid off. She added that they had pulled off the ultimate surprise, waiting patiently backstage so they wouldn't make Lola nervous before her set. Lola, still buzzing with adrenaline and emotion, told reporters she had cried the moment she saw them, and that she desperately needed a glass of wine. Which, honestly, fair. Of course, behind all of this joy is also a quiet ache that any parent of an adult child will immediately understand. Kelly has been open about the emotional weight of the distance. When Lola returned to the U.S. at one point after 9 months away, Kelly described the moment on Live, noting that everyone who came over to see her daughter said the same thing. You sound so British. Kelly has posted comments on Lola's Instagram like wish we were together, accompanied by a string of heart emojis. Simple, honest, the kind of thing a mom types when the love is bigger than the words. But Lola herself has spoken beautifully about how this phase of her life has actually brought her and Kelly closer, not further apart. On Kelly's SiriusXM show, she reflected on growing up and said there are so many moments now where she thinks, oh my God, I completely get it. She credited her parents' foundational advice, to be nice, respectful, and kind, as some of the most valuable guidance she ever received. That's not the typical celebrity kid narrative, and fans have noticed. What makes this entire story resonate so deeply, beyond the birthday posts and the London glamour, is what it represents for the millions of viewers who tune in to Live with Kelly and Mark every single morning. Kelly and Mark have never pretended to be perfect parents. They've shared the messy stuff, the empty nest panic, the joking about their kids' bedroom disasters, the emotional toll of watching 3 people you raise become their own full, complicated human beings. And in Lola, audiences see the result of all of that. A young woman who graduated from one of the country's best music programs, who moved abroad to chase a dream, who found love with someone her parents genuinely adore, who released her own EP, and who still calls her mom one of her best relationships. That is not an accident. That is the work of two parents who somehow, through the chaos of fame, demanding schedules, and the relentless spotlight, managed to raise a daughter who knows who she is. At the end of the day, Lola Consuelos' birthday post was just a few photos and a caption. But it opened a window into a life that feels genuinely beautiful. Sushi and sake and painting and the person who makes it all feel like enough. At 25 years old, with an EP out, a city she loves, and a relationship that makes her want to cry from happiness, Lola is doing exactly what her parents always hoped she would. She's living. And Kelly Ripa, watching from New York, responding with heart emojis and one-word compliments, is doing what she has always done best, showing up for her daughter in whatever way she can. Some things, it turns out, don't change, no matter how far away London is. So here's what I want to know from you. Drop it in the comments below. Do you think Lola has the makings of a genuine music star? And would you ever move across the world to chase your dream the way she did? Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this celebrity update, subscribe for more entertainment news and Hollywood stories. We post new content every week, and you do not want to miss what's coming next.